Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Okay, listen, I know what you're thinking. Another Resident Evil spin-off? But hold up, this one's actually different and honestly, kinda wild. It's called Resident Evil Survival Unit, and instead of running around dark hallways with just 2 bullets in your pocket and a prayer, you're actually managing a base. Yep, this is Capcom taking Resident Evil and mixing it with a real-time strategy game. That means, instead of just surviving the zombie outbreak, you're calling the shots like a commander. So in this video, I'm gonna break down 10 facts you need to know about Survival Unit, how it plays, what makes it different, who you can play as, the story setup, and even what's coming next. So strap in, gather your squad, and let's see whether Capcom's world of bioterror translates well into base building, resource harvesting, and tactical deployment. Because yes, for once you get to be the one sending Leon out on a mission instead of dying dramatically in a hallway. Game overview and setting. Resident Evil Survival Unit isn't trying to be another Resident Evil 1 or Village. It's pitched as a real-time strategy spin-off set in a parallel timeline. Instead of being a single-player survival horror ride, Survival Unit asks you to be a commander. You manage a base, recruit, and send out teams, and react in real time as an unknown infection spreads. The setting is deliberately familiar: bioorganic horror, collapsing cities, and the feeling that everything could go wrong if you mismanage resources. But the lens is different. The main hub is a mansion. Of course it's a mansion, because Resident Evil loves mansions. And that's where you'll build up your base. Think of it as Resident Evil's lore and characters wearing a strategy hat. The stakes are the same, but the tools are managerial instead of purely trigger finger based. This twist makes it stand apart from traditional Resident Evil entries while still leaning into the series' atmosphere and story threads. Main gameplay mechanic. At its heart, the game blends base management, scavenging, and tactical combat deployment in real time. You'll be upgrading your mansion, more on that in a sec, assigning survivors to resource gathering runs, and choosing which units to deploy when zombie swarms or specialized threats arrive. The decisions aren't turn-based. They happen while timers tick and events unfold, so you're prioritizing under pressure. Maybe zombies are swarming at your gates while you've got Jill and Barry out on a supply run. Do you reinforce your defenses? Do you risk pulling them back? Rush a resource convoy? Or risk a bold push to rescue a high-value character? These are the choices you'll be making. Characters have skills and synergies, so team composition matters, and resources are finite, which means strategic trade-offs are constant. On top of this, combat is presented as tactical skirmishes, where positioning and skill use determine success more than raw numbers. So whether you like min-maxing or improvising, there's something for you. The core loop is build, send, adapt, with the twist that the adapt part happens in real time. Multiplayer and connectivity. One of the headline ideas behind Survival Unit is that this is a global multiplayer experience. The game is designed to connect players in a shared online space where cooperation and competition coexist. You can team up with other players for certain missions or events, and there are social layers around trading, alliances, or leaderboards that reward strategic play. While it's not a full 4-player co-op door-to-door survival like some past RE multiplayer experiments, it promises asynchronous and synchronous interactions. Think joint operations, shared events, and competitive brackets during large-scale in-game incidents. Put bluntly, the single-player mansion feels more alive because it sits within a global ecosystem of other players doing the same thing, which lets Capcom-style crossovers and events scale beyond what one phone can hold. Storyline and parallel universe. The narrative approach is intentionally adjacent to existing Resident Evil timelines. It runs parallel to events like RE2 and RE3 rather than rewriting them. That means the outbreak and the city's collapse are familiar beats, but Survival Unit explores alternative threads, different squads, different outcomes, and what-if scenarios that let the team play with canon without breaking it. The infection itself is presented as a mysterious, rapidly spreading contagion that forces characters from across the franchise to cooperate in ways they never did in their original stories. If you like lore, this model is neat. It lets writers put classic faces into new setups and experiment with interactions that canonically never happened or couldn't happen in mainline games. It's a smart way to tap nostalgia while giving designers freedom to invent missions, character moments, and cross-title team-ups. Playable characters. Yes, the big names are here. The marketing and early materials highlight fan favorites like Leon S. Kennedy, Claire Redfield, Jill Valentine, and Barry Byrne, among others. But Survival Unit isn't just a nostalgia parade, it's recruiting characters as strategic assets, each with distinct roles and abilities that change how you approach missions. That means Leon might be a lead-in assault operative for quick-strike runs, while Claire could be better at support or medical tasks. Barry often fills a sturdy, resource-protecting role, but it's not just the A-listers. The roster also includes some surprises. The reveal teasers have hinted at lesser-seen faces and updated takes on classic protagonists, so collectors and lore hounds will have reasons to chase rarer recruits. But let's be real, we all know half of us are just gonna pick Leon and Jill for nostalgia, and pray we don't lose. Soft launch and regional availability. The launch strategy for Survival Unit has been a little sneaky. Some players discovered a soft launch on app stores in select regions before any big global rollout was announced. That surprise appearance is commonly used by mobile publishers to stress test servers, tune balance, and gather early metrics before wider release. If you don't see it in your store yet, that's probably why. The official channels have been hinting at a staged rollout, and storefront listings plus coverage show the game appearing in regions first, while global availability is slated for a broader date. For impatient players, keep an eye on the official account and the Play Store or App Store listings in your country. Sometimes a VPN or region trickery will show it earlier, but I don't recommend sketchy installs. Wait for your region if you want a clean, safe experience. Developer and publisher collaboration. The project is a multi-company effort. Capcom's IP stewardship, Aniplex's production and publishing experience, and Joycity's mobile development clout all combine on this one. Public announcements and trade coverage have emphasized that the game is being developed in close collaboration with Capcom to preserve franchise authenticity, while Aniplex and Joycity are handling development and mobile optimization. That split of labor matters because it means the game isn't just a slapped-on license. Instead, the teams are explicitly trying to keep Resident Evil tone, character integrity, and visual identity intact while adapting those elements to a mobile RTS paradigm. For fans worried about quality control, that collaborative structure is a positive signal. Capcom's involvement aims to keep things canon-adjacent and authentic. Base building, the mansion mechanic. One of the cooler design moves is turning the franchise's iconic Spencer Mansion vibe into a functional base. Your mansion serves as HQ, social hub, and upgrade center. You can upgrade rooms, unlock facilities that provide faster resource production or buffs, and place characters in specialized roles, training, research, crafting. The mansion doubles as a narrative anchor. It feels like Resident Evil because it's literally the classic architectural language of the series, and as a gameplay mechanic because upgrades feed directly into your ability to survive larger threats. Visitors and other players may interact with your mansion in limited ways depending on multiplayer modes, so your layout choices aren't purely cosmetic. The result is a satisfying blend of fan service and meaningful progression. It's the series' famous architecture turned into a living, usable system. Visuals and audio. The tone is Resident Evil, but dialed for mobile and strategy pacing. Trailers show realistic character models and moody lighting that lean more cinematic than typical gacha skins. Audio cues and ambient design borrow heavily from the franchise's eerie aesthetic. Creaks, distant groans, tense music swells to make base building feel ominous rather than cozy. In gameplay footage, animations for attacks and special moves carry the same cinematic flair you expect from the series, and cutscene snippets lean into cinematic camera work. It's worth saying, while the UI and playback are optimized for phones, the visual team seems to aim for that premium Resident Evil polish, so the feel stays atmospheric even when you're managing resources instead of solving puzzles. If you're watching trailers hoping for full-blown next-gen fidelity, temper expectations, but if you want atmospheric, character-driven mobile visuals, this delivers. Future content and roadmap. From day one, the game was presented as a live service with ongoing events, character drops, and seasonal story beats. The official channels, including the game's X account, have teased limited-time operations and special crossovers, which suggest the devs plan on regular updates rather than a one-off launch. Pre-registration pages, trailer descriptions, and the social calendar point toward a roadmap that will include events to pull classic characters into the meta, balance passes, and major in-game incidents that require community coordination. Put simply, expect new characters, limited events tied to franchise anniversaries, and possibly big narrative campaigns that expand the parallel timeline. If you enjoy mobile games that evolve over months, this one looks like it's designed for that model rather than being a static experience. Final thoughts and quick tips before you dive in. If you love Resident Evil for its characters and atmosphere but want a different pace, one that rewards planning, adapts to multiplayer, and gives you the fun of running a survival base, Survival Unit looks built for you. If you prefer the classic corridor and puzzle loop, this isn't a replacement, it's a spin-off. Think of it as an alternate mode of fan fiction that Capcom and partners officially greenlit. When you play, prioritize learning character synergies first. Don't ignore base upgrades, they compound. And treat early soft launch data like a test run. The experience may change as the game scales. And yes, it's still Resident Evil at heart. Expect the occasional creepy sound to make you jump while you're micromanaging a resource convoy. Marvelous verdict. Resident Evil Survival Unit is a clever pivot. It keeps the series' signature, dread, and character focus, but experiments with strategy and live service design. For fans, it's an invitation to see the franchise's world through a new lens. For strategy players, it's a chance to manage horror instead of just surviving it. If you're curious, keep an eye on official channels and regional storefronts. This one could be a slow burn favorite for people who like their zombies with a side of spreadsheeting. And yes, I'll be checking for Leon to survive my tactical blunders.